afternoon and welcome to this special Island Stat Sports Show. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and joining me is the Bermuda Tourism Authority's new CEO, Mr. Charles Jeffers II. First of all, welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Basin.
We had this lined up as you're doing your rounds since being given the position. And of course, the hottest topic of today in the last, I would say, 2 hours is the fact that the country is on a stay-home order, but however, the CLGP have been given the permission to be on the water and actually are on the water right now. In the press release, you were quoted and given the opportunity to actually express some more sentiments or some more information regarding how this has played out.
Yeah, sure. So once again, thank you for having me. And, I realize that the CLGP is going to be a hot topic, and I'm prepared to answer any questions as it relates to it, because I believe that, this is an important event for Bermuda, not just right now, but into the future. And what do I mean by that? I mean that we need to show that we in Bermuda can put on safe and successful events. And one of the things when the team booked this event last November, they went to the Ministry of Health and talked to them about what protocols would need to be in place to have this event. And they set up protocols, including each team is in its own bubble. So even though you have 8 teams for the event, where each team is in its own bubble, and they have been operating like that since they've been here in Bermuda since February. And so obviously nobody had predicted another surge in Bermuda, but they were well prepared for it because they have had limited, if not no, contact with anyone outside of their bubble since they've been on island. And so we appealed, given all of that, we appealed to the Minister of National Security for an exemption for them to complete the work on one of the boats, because the 8th boat was still being worked on, and for them to also have the ability to practice between now and next week. And it's important for them to practice because these are very high-powered machines. As Sir Russell on your show, I think, said last night, it's it's like a Formula One car. You're not just going to put somebody in there and tell them go race. You're going to give them some time to get used to it and become familiar with it. And unfortunately, because of the pandemic, these sailors have not had the opportunity to be in these boats for some of them for over a year. And so they need this time to practice and prepare so that next week they can put on a successful race. And even though there won't be spectators allowed on the water or or on land, this still will be broadcast to 175 countries. So 175 countries are going to get to see Bermuda in all its glory and in this race. And then the direct impact, financial impact to Bermuda is $5 million of spending on island. And so, obviously, we had to go to the government for their permission, and they taking all of that into account. First of all, the safety protocols that have been in place that were approved way back when this group was booked, and the fact that they've been adhering to those protocols since they've been on island in February, has really was really the impetus for this getting approval to get out there and practice and complete the boat.
So am I hearing right? There will be no spectators at the event on the water or on land?
Well, there will be no ticketed spectators. So assuming that the stay-at-home order is lifted, people will be able to go out on their own boats, but there will be no boats from the or no ticketed events that CLGP will be putting on. That was included in the press release that we sent out.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So being okay, we had this announcement. We're obviously it's a go. What do you say to the people who are now the locals and those that are residing here that are under this stay home order?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I completely understand anyone who is a little frustrated at having to stay home right now, and then you see these foreigners who are out there on the water, and I believe me, I get it. But at the end of the day, these people have, as I said earlier, have been in a bubble since they've been on island. So it's not like they've been out mingling around and doing whatever. And these are professional sailors. And what they've been doing is adhering to the protocols that were set out by the Ministry of Health, and have stayed in their own bubble. So it's not like these people are going to then go back and start mingling with the locals, even if the stay-at-home order is lifted. They're going to remain in their bubble as they have been since they've been on island. And this is an important event, not just for CLGP, but for Bermuda. While the investment that we made, we're not going to receive the return that we originally had expected, but there is still a possibility of us getting a return. I mentioned about the $5 million in direct spending on island, but even beyond that, being broadcast to 175 countries, that alone is worth a lot more money than we as an island could spend. And so it gives us an opportunity to showcase the island, excuse me. And then, as I also said, this also hopefully will set us up for future success to bring other events to the island. Even none of us know how long this pandemic is going to last. We hope it ends soon. But if there are other events who can adhere to the protocols set out by the Ministry of Health, then maybe we can bring those during the pandemic and post-pandemic, because they will know that Bermuda has not. Well, this will be the second event that we've hosted during the pandemic, sporting event during the pandemic, and they will know that Bermuda is a place where you can have a safe and successful event.
Well, actually, it will be the fourth international event that we've hosted, along with
rugby and the sailing. I'm sorry, I forgot about the rugby. But I'm sorry, you're correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I actually, we want to talk about the golf, because KPMG just came out a few weeks ago with the impact study, the economic impact study from the Bermuda Championship. One of the questions I want to ask is the tangible value of media exposure. That has a value of $12.8 million. That's not money we've made. That's the possibility, the openness of making money, right?
Correct.
How do we get to that?
So, I mean, I don't know their formula that KPMG used, but I can tell you this: when you look at how these economic impacts are done, is looking at, okay, we spent X, and this is what the return could be, and that's from the exposure that we are receiving because of these events, and it's just the in general the knowledge of how people will then be able to say, okay, I've heard of Bermuda, or I'm going to come in and play golf in Bermuda, or I'm going to do explore more, find out more about Bermuda. It's not this one thing. You know about marketing. You see a commercial one time, you're going to forget it. But if you keep seeing it, you keep seeing things coming up, you're like, oh, okay, I know what they're trying to get me to buy, and I may try that out. And so that's how these things work. We have to keep reiterating what our story is and telling people Bermuda is a great place to come and play golf, to go swimming and diving and fishing and do all the things that people enjoy while vacationing.
There are several more events planned on the sports tourism schedule for the remainder of the year. How are things shaping up for those events?
Well, honestly, I've only been on the job for 2 weeks, and I've been consumed by CLGP for 2 weeks. So I haven't even looked past next weekend. So forgive me if I'm not up to speed on all of the other things that are coming up.
Right.
But I promise you, I will come back on your show and I will tell you everything you need to know about those other ones. But I'm just being perfectly honest. This has been especially these last few days. I mean, since that stay-at-home order, I seem like I've eaten, sleep, and drink CLGP.
As a sports person, I'm one of those type of people that will watch a lot of sports on television. I am one, and I'm one that I watch the sport regardless of where it is. So I understand the method of marketing that Bermuda will look good on television to the 175, but the true sportsman is looking at the sport itself. Now, the thing is, with some of the events that we've had, such as the America's Cup and now the CLGP, that is exclusive to a certain group of people that have the funding to do that.
Right.
Wouldn't it be better to market an event that Bermudians can actually be a part of and mix it with international people that we could then show what we can do as well as show off our island?
So I'm going to have to ask you a question. Why does it have to be or? Why can't it be and? And what do I mean by that? Right. So yes. So the plan is that we will be going after other events that Bermudians will be more attracted to, and I say Bermudians as if some Bermudians are not attracted to sailing. They are.
Oh yeah. There's a huge community for sailors. Yes.
Huge
and I'm one.
Community. Yeah, and and I'm glad you said that, because that's the other part of this. Sailing hasn't traditionally been as diverse as it should be or could be. And so one of the things I'm most happy to hear, I was most happy to hear about with CLGP and with America's Cup, is how they have been trying to diversify those who are interested in sailing and get them involved in it. And so with the Inspire program that CLGP is now doing, and have been doing for the last several weeks, that's a program that I'm hopeful will inspire some young people who look like me to join the sailing community, and they could be traveling around the world, going to different locations and sailing.
Yeah, I mean, I know we have traditionally 3 clubs that have a lot of history in a certain class of boat that have people like us that do it all the time. I'm just looking out to make sure that they're not forgotten in all of this, because we want to make sure that the country grows in all sports. And one of the biggest things in the sport of sailing is the separation of classes. And I don't mean race classes. I'm talking about sail classes, because we have so many different types of boats. So just when we're looking to ensure that there is some equality, we have to look at certain sports and make sure that noose is kind of tightened up on it to ensure that everybody is equal when it comes to.
No, I completely agree with you. And one other point I want to make is, we also have the World Triathlon that comes here, and they have their youth participation program that, there are sports and honestly, I can't speak for anything that happened before April 1st, but moving forward, I believe that the team before I got here were encouraging those bringing events to have that community connection. But, it's going to be an insisting on my part, because I believe that we have to do these things to grow the local community's involvement in these things. And, and then there's also the the diversity golf diversity program that's coming this fall. And, hopefully that too will inspire young Black golfers to to take a look at the sport, or potential golfers to look at the sport and be more engaged with it.
Right. I noted over the weekend there was a press release that was sent out regarding the PGA that if the golfers have been immunized, they won't be doing any more testing for their tournaments during as they usually do. So there will have to be an early discussion on that if we're still in this state as we get closer to October. I know your time is tight. I asked for a 15-minute interview, so we'll leave it here, and then obviously as we get through this few weeks, we'll get back with you to talk a little more about what the rest of the year looks like for the Bermuda Tourism Authority sports program.
Thank you so much. I would love to do that. Hazel Clark, as you know, heads that up for us. And would love for Hazel and I to come back and join you and talk more about what sports looks like, not just for this year, but going into the future. Okay. All right.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You do the same. Appreciate you.
Okay. Bye-bye.